Hello and welcome to another edition of Bryan Lacey's Fun Day League Football. In a month where the world seems to have gone a little bit crazy, football itself has had its share of ups and downs. Well, let's start with an up, and congratulations to anyone involved in Comic Relief Red Nose Day for helping raise a staggering £74 million for charity. An amazing amount, and we can take pride in the football world because up and down the country, clubs, supporters, anyone associated with football have often played a big part in bringing people together to help raise money for charities just like this. People who get the most prominence are usually the ones that we see on TV, like the England team when they did the skit with James Corden, same with David Beckham. But there's one person that I think we do need to recognise, somebody who supported this cause for years without any recognition or a single nod in his direction, and that is Sir Alex Ferguson. Nobody has worn a red nose for as long or with as much pride as the great Scotsman himself. In fact, I think it's about time we swapped Lenny Henry as the figurehead for Comic Relief for Sir Alex Ferguson. Can you imagine that? If you just picture, if you're a starving African child, what would you rather see come round the corner? One of the most inspirational, motivational, successful men, not just in football, but in the world, come round the corner, or the fat man that advertises premiering. I'm not sure about you, but I think Alex Ferguson could do a lot more good. He could motivate them mentally, get them ready for the struggle that they're going to have to get through, whereas Lenny Henry just comes in and goes, well, this is what you could have looked like if you lived in a developed world next to a McDonald's, Pizza Hut, Domino's, Subway, a couple of curry houses. Sorry Lenny, that's probably a bit harsh. I know you've had a troubled time at the minute, especially since your divorce with Dawn French, and that's been a bit strange because ever since that we've not seen Dawn French, and judging by the size of you, I think you could have eaten her. Now, one of the most ridiculous events in football happened this month as well, and it was summed up beautifully, very dryly, by Ray Wilkins when he was asked about it, when he said the phrase, "A training ground is no place for an air rifle." Now, Ashley Cole, what the hell were you playing at? Not only taking an air rifle into training with you, but then using it to shoot a fan as well. I mean, what sort of an idiot are you? I mean, for years we've thought of you as the nation's enemy, and I don't know why you've gained that mantle. In fact, you've done more things right than you've done wrong, if we're honest. You've easily become potentially one of the greatest left backs we've ever produced for England. You married one of the nation's sweethearts and most loved celebrities as well. In fact, the only crime I can think of that you've committed over the last few years would be that white wedding suit you decided to wear when getting married to Cheryl Cole. I thought we all learnt the lessons about white suits and special occasions from that Liverpool FA Cup team years ago. Now, actually, I'm praying that the reason you took the air rifle into the training ground was that you have a bit of a communication problem with Ancelotti. He came up to you with his dodgy eyebrow and said, "We need to improve your shooting," and you thought with the eyebrow that it must mean gun shooting. So please, Ashley, explain it. Although I did hear a rumour, I'm hoping this is true, from one of my sources within the Chelsea grounds. They said to me after you were discovered and you were having a rollick, and you burst into tears in front of the manager, the backroom staff and all the team, explaining that this rifle was the first gift you ever bought Cheryl Cole, and she'd just thrown it back in your face, telling you it was over forever, which is quite emotional. But when asked why you bought the rifle, apparently your answer was just in case John Terry came round while you were out. Now, some of you are thinking, alright, leave John Terry alone, leave him alone, he's had enough now, he's the England captain again. But I'd like to search John Terry's locker for weapons, because I'm sure we'd find plenty of knives that he'd used to stab his mates in the back with. Scottish football this month quite literally took a hit when the Old Firm derby between Rangers and Celtic kicked off in far more ways than one. There were numerous yellow and red cards, as well as the famous face-off at the end of the match between the two managers, with the fight I think we'd all like to see between Neil Lennon and Ali McCoist. Now those actions are said to have led to the fans' actions, who around the city of Glasgow had numerous violent altercations. Now the Scottish FA has met this behaviour with threats of taking the Old Firm derby away from them. Two options they're looking at: potentially playing the game behind closed doors with no fans, which would be a real shame, or the second option they're looking at is to play at a neutral ground, forcing the fans to travel to see their two teams play. Now that one has obviously been met with huge objections, mainly from the towns and cities that they're threatening to take the game to. I mean, we all saw what happened when Rangers just went to Manchester for the afternoon to watch a European game. They ruined the city in one afternoon, and that's just one half of the fans. So not many places are keen on having Celtic and Rangers fans come and take over their towns. Although I have one suggestion that might not only help Scottish football, but may also help world politics. Now what if they played the game in Afghanistan? Now think about it. What would the Taliban think when they saw 50,000 Scots people drinking it up, smashing up, fighting anything that moved to watch a game of football? Now I'm sure the threat of 2 games a year in Afghanistan would be enough for the Taliban to put down their weapons and to hand us Osama bin Laden. Well, that's it for another edition of Bryan Lacey's Fun Day League Football. I hope you've enjoyed it again this week, and if you want to join me on Facebook and Twitter, you know what to do. Just click the links below. Until next time, I'll see you at half time for a pie and a pint.